guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a storytime video, which is something unique for me because I have never filmed one of these before, and I think I should probably hold this video off for a couple more years, but I have been wanting to film this video for a while. I talk to friends about this all the time, and I think it's finally time to tell my story of the worst teacher I have ever had. Literally ever had. If you find out who this person is, don't send any hate. The person I'm talking about is watching this. I don't hate you. I'm just telling my story because I think it is entertaining and I want to know if you guys have had any experiences like this. So, the worst teacher I have ever had in my entire life is my high school band teacher, which is really unfortunate because I was stuck with him for 4 years of my life. And if I went to the other middle school, I would have been stuck with him for 7 years of my life. Maybe he would have treated me differently because he would have known me better or whatnot, or maybe it would have been more of the same. So let's just get started. I play the alto saxophone. It is really hard being a music student and actually excelling at it because I have a hearing loss. It is just so hard to know rhythm, know when to come in, hear pitches, all of that stuff. It is really hard. Let's just preface it with that. Going to high school, I was so excited. I just really loved the band going into it. I was in the marching band. I did jazz band for 4 years. I literally did every single band. I even did full orchestra my freshman year because that was the only year they needed saxophones, and me as a freshman did it. I played clarinet my sophomore year of high school. I did clarinet choir. Like, I don't even know how to explain to you guys how involved I was in the band and how much I just loved it. So I would say like my first half of freshman year was actually really good with the teacher. I was first chair. I don't even know how, but he was really nice to me. I got bullied by the second chair saxophone player because he was just like really mad that he wasn't first chair, but whatever. And then at the end of the year, that's when like the issue started cropping up because we had auditioned to move on to the higher band, and I tried really hard for my audition and I didn't make it, and I was really confused because the second chair made it into the higher band. I was just confused, I guess. I came home crying, and my parent talked to my band teacher and he said that my audition was really good, but because he thought I had more friends in the lower band, he was just gonna keep me where I was. And I just didn't understand that because it's supposed to be about talent and it's supposed to be about your abilities, but obviously not. And then my sophomore year, I actually ended up playing clarinet in the higher band, which made no sense because I've never really played clarinet before, so I sucked. I was playing this really hard music on the clarinet, and then I was playing my instrument that I was actually good at, the saxophone, in the lower band, which it just made no sense. First of all, I auditioned and got into the higher band with the alto saxophone the next year. Whatever. So that situation was just really unfortunate, and I was just really mad for the longest time because I tried so hard and he kept me where I was because he thought I had more friends in the lower band. Like, what? Like, what? My biggest problem with my band teacher, and I think the biggest problem that makes literally every single one of his students not like him, is the fact that he picks favorites and he is so obvious about it. There was this family that he was obsessed with. I don't even know how many kids they had, but they had so many in the band. The father was the teacher, so my band teacher really sucked up to them. It didn't matter if they were amazing or not very good at all. He would make them first chair, move them to the higher band, just be so nice to them for no reason. They would raise their hand in the middle of class and say something like totally irrelevant and he would laugh, and then someone would raise their hand and like ask a relevant question and he would just yell at them and tell them to shut up. So I just don't understand. And even after those kids graduated from high school, he would just mention them a million times and I don't even know why. He picked favorites. He only had like a couple of favorites. They were all friends and it was so obvious. It was so obvious, and it was really tiring. One of the kids in the band he really liked, I think, but he just made fun of every single day, and it was just getting to a point that was just like inappropriate. inappropriate. Just always making fun of him and talking about him, and I don't think he liked it either. He just went along with it. And the favoritism thing would go so far that every year we would have a banquet where he would hand out awards, and the only awards he would give would be to his favorites. Like, we would have a game where we would guess who the awards were going to, and we would all be 100% correct because it was so obvious it had nothing to do with talent, and it only had to do with if he liked you or not. He wanted to be considered cool, which is just dumb, especially since it's banned. Come on, like, what? Oh, there's my dog. Speaking of the awards, he only gave them to guys, which is like really sexist. First of all, the majority of the awards would go to guys, which, I mean, whatever. They were so predictable. One time he gave the Player of the Year award to someone that graduated like 6 months earlier. We never seen him until he came to the banquet like 6 months later, and then he got an award. Like, everyone was like really upset about that. And the thing is, like, we would never hate each other. We would just like be pissed off at our teacher because he was just so obviously unfair. He would give these honorable mention awards to people that like never even played, you know? It was just dumb. It was really frustrating, and this was just a common theme throughout all 4 years of high school. I had been out for the big competitions for all of the bands because I had brain surgery, and at the band banquet I went up to accept the big band award. Every single student would go and get their medal, and there was obviously like enough medals for me to like actually go up there, and I didn't want to, but my friend told me I should. I didn't go up for jazz band even though I had been such a big part of jazz band, and when I went up to go receive my award, he scoffed and said, really, like I shouldn't have been accepting that award. So that was just a real asshole move. I think everyone just felt like shit about themselves because they weren't really being judged by the player that they were being judged by whether or not the teacher liked them or not. And that's why I was really thankful for competitions and things like Solo and Ensemble, because I got judged for the player that I was and not for the person that I was. There was this one kid that we all felt really bad for because he was auditioning to get into the higher band for like 4 years, and he definitely deserved it, but because his favorite that just started playing that instrument like 2 months ago was playing that instrument, he moved her up instead of him, and it was terrible. Another thing is band elections. We had band elections, which is just so dumb. Like, first of all, he never enforced anything, so these people would just have a title to put on their college app, but they never actually had to do anything. We would give a speech, and then the bands would vote for us. However, the students could never prove it, but we are about 99% sure that he rigged the elections every single year, because the randomest people would win, and also he would never let anyone else do elections. He would tally all the votes himself, which is really freaking shady. Like, it should be the officers that are doing that, not him as a teacher. And also he would do band nomination, so you could nominate someone else to win that position. And he had a rule where if you nominated someone, you had to vote for them, otherwise your vote wouldn't count. So not only was he probably like rigging the votes, he was also seeing who everyone was voting for and discounting votes if they voted for someone they didn't nominate, which is just dumb. But because band elections are a joke, like, that didn't bother me. It bothered a lot of people, but because they are a complete and utter joke, because he made them that way and never enforced them to do their actual job, nobody really cared. It just thought of it as a joke. My senior year, I had 2 brain surgeries, which was a really hard part of my life, and he tried to make me do a chair audition like the instant I came back to school, and I was like, dude, I literally just had surgery. I'm not doing your dumb chair audition that you're gonna put me behind these people anyways because you like them better than me. No, I'm not doing a chair audition. I was in jazz band for all 4 years. I was one of the only freshmen that got in, and it was really fun, except for the fact that I continually felt like he was picking on me every single time. Who cares? But what really started to annoy me was when other people got into the band, the same instrument as me, and he would pick on me, but the people sitting beside me obviously played it way worse and made so many mistakes, and he never even pointed their mistakes. And it was simple mistakes, like they would play F when they were supposed to play F sharp, which is like a 5th grade mistake, and he wouldn't say anything. But as soon as I made a simple mistake, like a rhythm mistake or something, he would just like stop the entire band and like yell at me. It's like, whatever. And I'm not the only kid he picked on. He picked on literally everyone except for his favorite, except most of his favorites were in jazz band, which is why I like just hated being there for practice, but I stuck through it all 4 years because the music he picked was actually really good. So I will credit him that he picked really good at music, but him as a person, not so great. And if any of you are questioning my talent, I highly recommend you hit up IGTV on my Instagram, which is linked down below, and check out my senior solo that I did. I was one of 3 people that were chosen to do a senior solo. I don't even know how that happened. What happened, I got a 1 at solo and ensemble. I had brain surgery, which is why I couldn't do state, but because I literally begged him, he let me do a senior solo, and it was like one of the best moments ever. He never mentioned my solo after that night, never said good job, nothing. It just hurts when you put so much of your life into something and you're treated really terribly. When we had to talk to the middle schools, only his favorites would get to go talk about high school band, and during the concerts he would only have people stand up if they were a part of a sports team, which was just really freaking annoying because he thought that sports were the only thing that mattered, because he compared football to band every single day, which is just dumb. Stand up if you play a sport. Wow, these people are so great because they play a sport, which is just dumb. He would never allow me or my friends to stand up because we were in student council or because we were in numerous honor societies, because we were on literally every single thing that was important to the school except for a sport. So it was just annoying because I put so much effort into making my high school a better place, and he just thought it was just dumb. Or my best friend, who was the varsity field hockey captain, and he just refused to believe that she was on varsity. Like, what the hell is that? Probably one of the most inappropriate things this guy ever did, which is like every single day talk about politics. He talked about politics so much, it was just so annoying. It was just really, really annoying. On the day of the 2016 election, when Trump won, he gave a huge lecture to the class about how this is like the worst thing that ever happened and that's gonna ruin everyone's lives, and it's just inappropriate. You don't talk to a class, especially like a band class, about politics. Literally every single week he would read news headlines and make fun of the president and talk about how he's such a terrible person and how if you support him then you're like terrible and all this stuff, which is just wildly inappropriate for a band class. But he sucked up to our principal, who also was wildly inappropriate with politics, so you can have your own opinion with that. I just think a lot of people in the class felt really, really uncomfortable, and even if you do support those views, it's still uncomfortable because it's just inappropriate. He would talk to class about how he had no friends, and he would waste so much time on just talking about dumb stuff that didn't have anything to do with the music we were playing. So you have a pretty good picture of him in your mind. Now you can probably imagine why so many people don't like him and would act up in class or just not pay attention or do homework or go on their phones or whatever. For the first like 2 to 3 years of high school, he didn't like enforce anything. He could definitely tell that people weren't paying attention, but he would only yell at people that like weren't his favorites. And then senior year he started to get really pissy about it. But it's like, dude, if you're talking about politics and inappropriate stuff all the time, like, do you really expect us to take you seriously? He would just yell. His outbursts in class were embarrassing. His like face would get all red and he would yell and yell about how we're like disrespectful, how we don't care and all this stuff. It's like, no, we do care, but we can't take you seriously when you're just a terrible teacher and a terrible person in general. And I totally forgot to mention that several times when he had his outbursts, he would throw his baton at us. Obviously, I don't think he intended to hit anybody because that's totally like wildly inappropriate and he would probably get fired, but he would literally throw his baton at us out of anger. He would swear at us to make a point. He would call our playing bullshit. Now, I have had several teachers swear to make a point, but I never had a teacher swear at us. So, and it got even worse during marching band. I can do a whole video about marching band. He would never let his students get water, even when they were like clearly painting on the field, when he was up in the bleachers fanning himself and drinking water. And he would blow his whistle at us all the time and just have these massive outbursts on the field. Every single time we had to audition for something or chair audition, if it was a challenge, he would ask which person played what before he would tell us who won, which is just inappropriate. If someone like obviously played really badly or just didn't play at all, if it was someone that he liked, he would give them a second chance and just put them above someone that actually spent forever learning. Like, he was just a joke. When I got to college and I played for cheer and jazz band and sold out theater and solos and all that stuff, I was like, whoa, band directors are actually like nice and they actually care about the students in their band. Everything that I experienced for the last 4 years was not normal and not okay. I hope that he actually changes his ways. He's one of those people that has to be right, and if he's not right, he just throws a fit about why he's right. I would get so upset by the constant bullying of the teacher that I would film videos like this. Obviously I couldn't post it because I was still in high school, and I would write like a 10-page letter about how much I hated him and all this stuff. It was just terrible because I had really great teachers in high school, so I know what good teachers are. Students who have a teacher for 4 years in a row are supposed to bond with them and feel comfortable talking to them and all this stuff. I literally felt none of that. I couldn't wait to leave. I never wanted to go to that class. It was absolutely terrible, and everyone I knew felt the same way. Literally no one I know likes them. I remember having lunch with his absolute favorite person ever my sophomore year of high school, and he was just going on a rant about how much he didn't like him, and I was shocked. And I said, well, you're his favorite, why don't you like him? And he said, because he's treating my friend terribly and I don't like that. So that's just a little glimpse for you. And guys, the reason why this is such a big deal and the reason why I'm making this video is because if I only had to go through this with the teacher for 1 year, it would have been terrible. But this was 4 years of our lives. It's just so much extra practice time, so much time of your already busy week. Keep in mind, I'm involved with so much. I do so many competitions, all this stuff. Never being acknowledged that any of those are important. That this is the only important thing in my life, yet never treating me like I have any potential at all. It's just really tiring and not okay. So that's why I'm making a big deal about it, because it was 4 very tiring and hurtful years. The teachers I only had for a year or half a year, I just loved so much more. I would go and talk to them like every single day, and that's because they allowed that to happen with every single one of their students and not just a select few that they wanted to suck up to. Basically, my band teacher was a huge suck up to a couple of people and then really rude and terrible to everyone else. If you want your students to succeed, like, of course you're gonna go the extra mile and try to learn a little bit about them. I mean, come on. My favorite teacher, the one I'm still in contact with now, I've only had for a year or half a year, and they know so much about me. I built personal connections with them, and that's the way it should be. I mean, it's fine if you don't want to do that, if you don't care about your students, but at least, like, tell us that. Don't make us feel inadequate because you're saying that you care about us and you want to learn more about us and you want to be the best teacher you can be, and just fall so inadequately, like, short. Like, come on, dude. Going into high school, I was really excited because we do 2 band trips. One went to New York and one went to Italy, and I didn't go to either of them, and oh my gosh, I'm so happy I didn't go to either of them because I heard horror stories about both of them. These trips were so overpriced. And for the trip to New York, originally the students that were going paid to go by plane, and they ended up going by bus because nobody was going, something happened, which was just so unorganized, and also they got lost coming back, so they took an extra like 2 or 4 hours coming back by bus. He would lash out on every trip, get super nervous, and take it out on students. He would yell at the principal. He would show up late. The principal showed up late one time and he just like screamed at him, and then he showed up really late, literally the next day, and then just blew it off and acted like it wasn't a big deal. He got mad at me one year for riding in a parade car for student government instead of marching with the marching band. Hell no, I marched with the marching band one time and said I would never do that again. He just yelled at me the whole time, and I'm acting like this now because that's how I feel about it now. Like, I put up with so much crap in high school that I would never put up with now, so that's why I'm laughing about it. But like, in high school, I really did care. I really did want him to like me, and I think so many other people felt the same way. My freshman year, he asked me to play with his band, and it was actually so much fun. I felt so valued, I felt so wanted in the band, and it was just like such a good time, and I actually like played really well. The following year, he didn't even bother to tell me he wasn't gonna invite me back to do that. He just invited another saxophone player because he was better than me and he liked them better. Okay, well, at least have the decency to tell me that instead of waiting for me to ask you like, hey, are you gonna like invite me back, because every single player in the band was invited back except for me. I literally can't. I was involved in everything. I was on e-board of student government. I did so much in high school that I don't even know why I put up with the shit I did in band. Like, come on, like, if my band teacher is watching this now, which I really don't think he will, if he is, I just want to let you know that I have no malicious intent towards you. I still think that somewhere deep inside there is a good human being. You just need to show it more to your students, because nobody really likes you because you're mean to everyone and you so obviously show who your favorites are. You're not being subtle. Everybody knows that you pick favorites and you teach your class around that. So I would really recommend that you don't do that anymore, and maybe people will actually like you. Also, guys, this has extended like past high school graduation. He invited someone back to like a pep band game, and then he didn't invite someone else that he was originally going to because he heard that they had broken up. Like, who the hell are you to get involved in students' personal lives? Like, really? Come on. Just stop being inappropriate. Don't talk about politics. Don't try to get involved with people's personal lives and try to see who dating who and like all this stuff, because he like got involved with people's personal relationships and band, and it was really like gross and inappropriate. Also, another like inappropriate thing that he did was with grading. He would give me a lower grade than the person that's one chair below me, which doesn't even make sense because it was a chair test grade. Dude, like I don't know what I just don't know. I don't know like what your intent was, but that's just not the way it works, and you better like get a handle on that, because if it was any other class, if it was a history class and a professor graded his favorite an A while someone that had like the same work got graded like a C, like he would get fired. Be fair, it's not that hard. Literally every single person in the building had done it. I've only had a problem with a couple of teachers, and that was a misunderstanding, and we talked it out and we're good now, and I feel bad for ever having a problem with people in the first place, because that's just not me. I'm nice. I want people to like me. I'm like a try hard. I try to be the best student, and I can't hear literally anything. Never really asked me about my disability or hearing. He just treated me like everyone else, which is fine, but then yelled at me for not being able to do certain like rhythms right away, but that's because I have severe hearing loss. It's so frustrating. That's why I would like come home crying all the time, and that's why you're the only teacher that I've ever had a real problem with that I could never reconcile, because you would never talk to any of your students. You would just like get hot-headed and yell and apologize the next day, and then still like blow up at your students the next day. Like, come on. We're real human beings going through so much, and you need to be more empathetic, and just don't pick favorites, dude. Your favorites don't even like you. Come on, like they tell everyone that they don't like you, so just reevaluate. I just want to reiterate that I don't hate this person. I'm just really frustrated and just hurt by all the stuff that's been going on for the past 4 years, and there's so much more to the story that I obviously have probably forgotten like huge chunks of it, but this video is already long enough and you guys get the gist. It feels so good at making this video, but I don't hate my band teacher. I just think that he is misguided and needs to really reevaluate his teaching techniques, because so many teachers go through something like this and they realize that they've been doing something wrong and then they fix it. So please fix it. I'm in a great place now. I'm in the most amazing university with the most amazing band director that actually cares, that actually doesn't get frustrated when I ask questions, that takes the time to explain things to me, that points things out but does it in a nice, appropriate way, and that really wants to see everyone succeed and doesn't pick favorites, because he treats everyone like they're a favorite, which is what you should do. Just try to make people feel a little valued. I think that's the nice way to say it, because you've said things to other students about other students, and then that shit gets spread around and it just doesn't look good. It's not a good look. Stop treating your students like you're one of us and start treating them like they're your students, and don't talk politics. So that's all I got for you guys. That is just the story of my worst teacher ever, which kind of sucks because I love band. Come on. I loved it. But he just made me like hate it by the end of it. If you want to see my playing, check out my Instagram. I have my senior solo there, which I'm really proud of. So as I'm ending this video, I'm remembering like a million other things that I wish I would have put into this video of like terrible like things that he did and said that just made everyone feel like terrible. But obviously I can't include that. This video is already long enough. I love you guys, and I can't wait to upload a more positive video next. Bye.